Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, you've got to smash the like button on this video because this is a cracker. Guys, it is all kicking off. Canelo Alvarez and Ryan Garcia are going back and forth, tick for tack, tick for tack. Ryan Garcia has now responded to Canelo Alvarez saying you've achieved nothing and I was a champion at 20. Ryan Garcia said, I'm in a very tough division and you beat a nobody in Matthew Hatton. You beat a bum to become a world champion. Ryan Garcia is not holding back. He is going in. He's going for tick for tack. He's saying if Canelo's throwing a left, I'm throwing a right. It's unbelievable stuff. These two were pally, all friends. Ryan looked up to Canelo and now it is turned sour. I don't know if this can ever be mended. I don't know if this can ever be. I was actually just telling my friend that imagine if Canelo sees Ryan in person and he actually says, "What are you talking nonsense for?" Yeah, man, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that Ryan Garcia I told you, man, this younger generation that we live in, they don't respect their elders like that. They don't respect their elders like that. I'm telling you, the younger generation, man, they're very rude. They feel like, and this is not just in America, it's in the UK. This next generation that's coming up, they feel right. Like, when I was growing up, like, I had respect for my elders. Like, there's no way that somebody, especially like somebody in my field, right? I could never disrespect them. My dad would be peed off with me. Like, I could never disrespect someone older, and especially somebody that's in your field that's achieved that much. And then, talking rubbish like that, I could never do that. I feel like the generation, the world, it's just changing. Kids nowadays, young kids coming through, I've said this in previous, they're coming through now, they don't have that kind of respect. I work in education, so I know. what the younger, they don't have any respect. They feel like they look at you, even though you may be 30, they look at you the same. Even though you've been through the stage that they've been through. Canelo wasn't being disrespectful to Ryan. He was just giving him advice. It was Ryan that took it to heart. It was Ryan that started Riley. And Canelo even didn't, like, Ryan's been making sly comments now for a while, right? And he's been talking rubbish about Ryan for a while. Been talking rubbish about Canelo for a while. Canelo is human. At the end of the day, if this guy keeps poking away, Canelo's a fighting man. He's an alpha. He's going to go after Ryan. He's going to say, who's this kid continuing to poke at me? Like, of course, it's any human. If you keep poking them and poking, eventually that human's going to be say, forget this. I'm going after this kid. What's this kid talking nonsense for? Unbelievable stuff by Ryan Garcia. To even say that I'm in a tough division, but you ain't fought any. But like you ain't fought any of the top guys. Canelo Alvarez at 22. How old is Ryan? I don't know. Maybe you guys, is he 23, 24? I don't know how old he is. I don't know. Is Ryan Garcia 22? I don't know. Like, I'm going to check after this video, but I'm pretty sure he's older than 20. But the point Canelo was making, that I was champion, firstly, you're disrespecting Matthew Hatton by saying Matthew Hatton was a nobody, he was like a bum. And he says he's in a tough division and you want a vacant title against, but beside the point, you're in a tough division, but you feel you're the best in that division. But you're not challenging yourself. You're not fighting the best guys. When you say it's a tough division, it wasn't always a tough division. Ryan Garcia's been fighting for a long time. He himself went away and had his issues, But you can't, like, here's the thing, right? Just because you've got a huge social media platform, that don't mean you're a superstar boxer. Because right now, right, people look at Ryan Garcia as a social media star more than a boxer. He hasn't really done, like, yeah, he beat Luke Campbell, which was a great win. You know, Luke was at the end of his career, and I think Luke didn't fight again after Ryan. So the point I'm trying to make is Luke was a fading fighter. Good fighter, gold medalist, I get all of that. But Luke was a fading fighter. And he also gave Ryan a lot of trouble in that fight, you know, compared to Lomachenko and stuff. So, I like Ryan Garcia. But I don't think Ryan Garcia is endearing himself to the boxing fans by criticizing Canelo. I saw a lot of comments on Twitter, people saying, I'm not a Canelo fan. Some guys saying on Twitter, I'm not a Canelo fan, but Ryan's bang out of order going at Canelo like this. And I'd have to agree with them. He is. You can't have a dig at somebody that's achieved that much, but that's the younger generation, I'm afraid. And I know a lot of Canelo fans are not going to be happy with it, but you've got to understand that the younger generation, and as somebody that works with the younger generation nowadays, they don't like being disrespected. You know, when I was young, and I was in school, you know, you disrespect the teacher, you're in big trouble. I couldn't, because you know, my dad won't be happy. Like I said, I wouldn't disrespect anyone older than me, especially someone that's in my field that's achieved more. I would never disrespect someone older than me that's achieved, you know, that's basically achieved where I want to get to. You know, and Ryan's taking sly comments, you know, saying, and then it's made, you know, sly comments after Canelo was angry, frustrated that he lost to Bivol, and saying to Bivol, you were a dedicated fighter. Why the hell are you making those comments? Bro, you fought nobody, man. You can't be telling Canelo when he just fought a great guy, daring to be great, moving up and fighting Bivol. You can't tell Canelo Bivol's a more dedicated. Come on, man. Get the hell out of here with that crap. You know? That's disrespectful, you know, and that's the younger generation today, I'm afraid. The younger generation have no regards for older people. Like, you know, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. You know, I'm somebody that I think that you should respect people. I don't feel like you should disrespect older people, even if they might be in the wrong. You know, you should never disrespect older people, man. They've been, and when they give you advice, you know, generally, especially someone like Canelo giving you advice, you know, he wasn't having a dig at Ryan. He was just giving him advice. You know, and Canelo was trying to motivate, he was trying to get the lion out of Ryan. But unfortunately, Ryan's not built like that. Obviously. Because he, you know, he reacted in a very, very bad way. You know, you can't talk about a man that's a 4-division world champion when you haven't won one world title. So for the fact that you say Canelo was champion at 20, and that's almost comical. He's a 4-division world champion. You ain't even a champion at one weight class. You haven't held one legitimate belt yet. And you're saying I'm in a tough division. Well, go up then. You know, the point I'm trying to make is this guy is disrespecting Canelo because Canelo would have wiped out any of those guys that he's fighting at 135. Let's not forget, Canelo's beaten champions, good champions. Callum Smith. But all these guys are better fighters than Ryan Garcia at this point. Billy Joe, Caleb Plant, Kovalev, Danny Jacobs, Gennady Golovkin, Lara, Cotto, Khan. All of these guys that Canelo's fought, all of these guys were world champions. Kirkland. These aren't no bums out of, you know, potatoes with no names on. These are great fighters. All of these guys have a you know, chance to maybe make it in the Hall of Fame. You know, Cotto, irrespective where they were in their careers, when Canelo fought them, they were championship level fighters. Cotto was a champion. Kovalev was a champion. Jacobs was a champion. Golovkin was a champion. He's fighting champion after champion. And there's Ryan Garcia fighting in his last fight, Emmanuel Tagao, and now he's fighting Javier Fortuna, right? So how can he criticize Canelo Alvarez? You know, you gotta respect you gotta respect the guys that have done it before you, man. You know, I don't understand why Ryan's you know, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think it's a good look for him anyway, because he's just making himself more hated. And you know, we already seen that this guy, he's had his issues in the past with social media. But you don't want to put yourself out there where you're going to be hated more, because Canelo has a lot of fans. They're going to come at you now. This is what I said. Ryan shouldn't have been going against Canelo. Ryan should have been on Canelo's side, because his fans would have jumped on your bandwagon. Would have made you a bigger star. But instead, you've turned them all against you. They may still watch you, because now they're not with you. Now they want to see you lose. But I wish good for Ryan Garcia, because I like the kid. I think he's bubbly. I think he's got great style. He's exciting. But Canelo's right. Canelo's right. He needs to be more dedicated. He needs to show us something. He needs to become a champion, and he needs to call out Devin Haney. He's on DAZN. You know, right? Devin Haney was on DAZN. He didn't want to fight Devin Haney. He avoided that fight. He didn't want to fight Devin Haney. You know, if I'm not mistaken, he was mandatory to Devin Haney's WBC belt, and Devin was calling him out. The champion was calling out the guy, the challenger. Can you believe that? And he didn't want it. He didn't want it. Nah, man. Nah. You know, I don't understand. I don't understand how Ryan can criticize Canelo. Well, someone will say, oh, well, he's only criticizing, he's only giving Canelo back. No. He's not on his level. You can't give somebody back that's not on your level. If he talks with Gervonta, it's different. You know, Gervonta's a champion. Even Gervonta's achieved more than Ryan, but it's not Canelo. It's not a pound for pound great, you know. It's Gervonta Davis, you know, who's also kind of fought nobodies for majority of his career as well. And when I'm saying nobodies, I don't really like to call good fighters. What I mean is, he hasn't fought the elite fighters that we want to see him in the ring with. But you know, Canelo, disrespecting Canelo is a joke. Canelo is, you know, his resume is second to none. So yeah, I don't get what Ryan's, you know, trying to get at here. Trying to disrespect Canelo. Canelo responded, like, it's almost like Ryan is trying to basically have a sly digs at Canelo, so Canelo responds like he's done, because Ryan probably knows that eventually this guy's gonna give me a reaction, and that's what probably Ryan wants. Maybe Ryan feels that, you know, he becomes a bigger star that way. You know, maybe this is all intentional. Who knows? He's playing along with it because he's thinking, this is only going to make me bigger. This is only going to make me a bigger star. You don't know. Maybe it's a strategical thing. You know, maybe, you know, I don't think it is. I think he was just hurt by Canelo's comments. But at the end of the day, you know, when a guy of that stature gives you some advice, you take it. You don't get upset, and you don't start throwing a strop. You know, you take it on board, and you know, you go in the gym, you put in the work, and then you in the ring, you show it through your performances, not having to dig back and talking back, because, you know, anyone can talk. You know, I feel like Ryan Garcia, for me, has got an attitude that he's made it in boxing. Like, he's already a big star. Like I told you yesterday about what he said about Amir Khan. Like, he said, oh yeah, you know, Khan had everything like I had. He had speed, he had power, but, you know, he wasn't disciplined like me. He wasn't focused. Bro, you've never been a champ. What are you talking about? You've never been a champion. Khan was a unified champion. What are you talking about? This is what I mean. It's like, he almost talking about himself as if he's like a successful fighter at world. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get, like, Ryan talks about himself as if he's achieved a lot. As an amateur, you never won an Olympic medal or anything. You know, you haven't won a world title. Why are you talking about Khan like you have achieved more than him. You've not achieved anything close to what he achieved as an amateur or as a pro. And with Canelo, in terms of as a pro, you haven't even, like, Canelo, like, you're at the stage Canelo was when Canelo was 16, 17. You're still at that stage. When Canelo was 17, 18, that's the stage you're at still. Because you've never been a champion. As Canelo pointed out, whether it was a vacant belt, whether it was against a bum or whoever it was against, it still became champion. And then look at the names he fought after that. So that's talk about I was champion at 20. Oh, well, who did he fight? It's irrelevant because look at the names that Canelo fought after that and beat after that. Has Ryan Garcia beaten anybody on the level of Josecito Lopez? Because let's not forget, Luke Campbell, everybody talks about... Luke Campbell was never a world champion. Luke Campbell never became world champion. So he beat a guy that was not a world champion. You know, so... Again, Ryan Garcia, he needs to... Like I said, we need to see it in the ring. But like I said, I do like Ryan. I hope these two can squash their beef. It's not a good look. But I don't think... I don't think Ryan comes out good from this, personally. But... leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Smash the like button, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.